Hey everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to cover a topic that's kind of odd for us to discuss, but for some reason people have been asking me about it for the last few days, and a couple of people actually sent me emails where they kind of tied it into the gun rights issue because they said, hey, Scott Adams being canceled. This guy who writes the Dilbert cartoon, he's being canceled by the same people on the left that passed gun laws. What is it about these people on the left that they don't like guns and they don't have a sense of humor and blah, blah, blah? And they said, what do you think of all this? Well, what I think of it is seldom, I guess I should say, is how I think of it, because I really don't care. I don't care about Scott Adams. I don't care about Dilbert. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's written for me. I think it's written for, IT nerds that work in an office. I think that's who it's written for. I'm not that. I'm definitely not an IT nerd. So I don't find it funny. Dogbert can sometimes be funny. But as far as Dilbert goes, just definitely not one of my favorite. I mean, Bloom County, yes. Garfield, yes. Heathcliff even, yes. Calvin and Hobbes, definitely yes. But Dilbert, not so much. But what he did, in case anyone doesn't know, is he, on his podcast, said something about how they had surveyed people with the question, is it okay to be right? That's a question that, not okay to be right, okay to be white. It's always okay to be right, or else I would not be okay most of the time. But I'm also white most of the time, too, so same thing there. But the question was, is it okay to be white? Now, this is a question people ask when they're usually trying to start trouble. I mean, because of course it's okay to be white. It's okay to be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you are. That's fine. As long as you're not a dick. It's okay to be any color, any nationality, whatever. You're judged on how you behave, the injustices that you tolerate, etc. Not just the things you perpetrate, but the things you tolerate. That's how I judge a person. So, of course, it is okay to be white. So it's kind of a ridiculous question to ask. You're kind of looking for trouble if you ask it. But it's okay to ask it. People can ask whatever question they want. I'm a firm believer of that. Should he been able to cover this topic and ask this question or even address the fact that someone else asked it? Well, of course he could. He should be able to do a topic where he said, hey, was Adolf Hitler a great artist or was he secretly a good guy? You can ask whatever question you want. It's free society. I'm a firm believer in that. But he went on to make a statement that since so many black people, I think like a quarter of black people didn't think it was okay to be white, that he said that the black community is racist and white people should avoid them. And I think that's kind of a really stupid statement. Just because a quarter of any group doesn't like you, that doesn't mean you just discard the entire group. I like to look at it as, hey, 75% of them like me. That'd be great for me. That'd be a huge improvement on my usual numbers. So I didn't agree with what he said. Do I have every belief he has a right to say it? Well, yes, of course he does. If he wants to be a separatist, I'm okay with that. If he's a racist, I accept the fact that he's a racist. I don't tolerate it in my daily life. I wouldn't be friends with him. I wouldn't support him in any way. And that's kind of the way I see this here. The company that is severing ties with him and therefore kind of just killing his strip, they're not, in my opinion, actually acting because, he said something racist, which they have every right to. They're acting in a way it's, he said something that's going to hurt us financially. That because if we stick with him, other people we work with that papers still want are going to start not working with us because we're working with him. They made a financial decision. And I think a business has every right to do that, especially when they have stockholders, employees, etc., that count on making their living from this company. They don't have to make a political stand and stand by him and say he had every right to say what he wanted to say and blah, blah, blah. That's not their job to do. They don't have to do that. They can say, as a business, we just don't want to be associated with him anymore. There are lots of businesses I don't associate because I don't want to tolerate their behavior. There's a lot of people on the internet I don't associate with because I don't tolerate their behavior or condone their behavior. I get rid of people in my comment section all the time. I say things to drive them away because I don't want them in my comment section and people thinking I condone the things they say. So it is not a violation of free speech. And that's one of the things a lot of people have been bringing up, saying, his free speech rights are being violated because this company is bankrupting him, ruining him because of what he said. That's not a free speech violation. That's called consequences of your actions. You're entitled to take any stand you want to take. I don't care what your position is. I will either agree with you or disagree with you. I will, accept your opinion, or I will say your opinion is garbage. But you have every right to have it. But that doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of your actions. If you say or do something I think is reprehensible, I just won't have anything to do with you again. And if anyone asks me what I think of you, I'll tell them I think you're a scumbag. That's not me silencing you. That's me saying, I don't like what you did. Those are the consequences of your actions that I'm stepping away from you. And if a lot of people are stepping away from the Dilbert comic strip and don't want to read it and don't want to be associated with any companies that do help him, I see no problem with them saying, you're dropped. Like I said, I have no problem with asking the questions. I have no problem with even having reprehensible opinions. I'm just not going to condone it. But when it comes to a business, that's a different thing, and it's not a First Amendment issue. He can still write his comic strip. He can still sell it to whoever wants to buy it. But if major companies now don't want to buy it because they don't want to be associated to him, that's not a violation of his First Amendment rights. That's holding him accountable for things he said that most of their customers don't agree with. So I'm okay with all of it all the way around. I've got no real opinions of anybody here. I don't know Scott Adams. I don't know what he's like. I don't know how his comments were taken in context, out of context, whatever. I don't care if he's a racist. I don't know. I would hope he's not, but I don't know if he's a racist. If he is, good. Don't have anything to do with him. Don't buy his strip. Don't read it. And if you're a business, don't associate with him if you don't want to, because like I said, that's not a violation of anyone's rights. That's just consequences of their actions. Everybody, Yankee here. Today I want to They were talking about Scott Adams, and a couple of people even I'm not good at this. He covered a question that people had. Fuck, this is not good. I don't know what I'm saying. I should think of something else to do. Hey everyone, Yankee here. In my videos, we often cover some complicated subjects with a lot of gray area. So if you would like to further discuss anything said in my videos, please join us in one of my live chats. Live chats are held most days at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Monday and Wednesday when they are at 5 p.m. Pacific. There is a clickable link to the live chats in the upper right-hand corner of this video. If you disagree with anything I've said in a video, feel free to participate in Spank the Yank. You can come on the live discussion panel and let me know face to face how I was wrong.